I want to make a new self-insert character. If you don't know, I have a lot of them. But a problem that I've run into is that I've run out of worlds and franchises to put myself into without it just being like a regular real world version of me, because that's just boring. So I am venturing outwards towards new franchises that I haven't really connected with, or stuff that I just haven't watched. I haven't watched all the Star Wars movies. I'm not that big into Star Wars. I've seen the original trilogy, and then I watched Force Awakens, and then all the other sequel movies that came after that. I still have yet to watch the prequels. I don't remember much about it. I don't remember all that much from the original trilogy anyways, except for the really big stuff. So what the plan is to watch through all the Star Wars movies, all the episodes at least. I might watch Clone Wars, but that's like 7 seasons. I don't know. It depends on how much I want to commit to this. But basically the plan is to watch all the Star Wars movies, watch all the episodes, all the episode movies, and through that I will find where this self-insert character that I'm coming up with should be, what his backstory maybe is. I don't know. I'll figure all that out. I don't know what era to put my character in either, because I know each trilogy is like a different time period in the world of Star Wars. So I gotta figure that out too. My brain's already been going from what I do remember. I've already decided that I kind of what I want is for him to be a Force user. I want him to be Force sensitive. He uses the Force, and also has a lightsaber and also a blaster. Like they're separate. Not like what Ezra has from Star Wars Rebels. I watched a bit of Star Wars Rebels. I didn't watch enough of it to get to that point, but I know that he has a blaster built into his lightsaber hilt. That's cool. But basically, my guy's going to have a lightsaber, and he's going to have a blaster. They're going to be two separate things. They're going to use them both. Other than that, I got nothing. Other than that, I really have nothing. I got to work on this. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to watch the movies. I'll be back. I watch the movies, and I'll record myself talking about the movies afterwards, and we're just gonna go on this whole journey here. Okay, it's going to happen. All right, let's go. Hi, currently viewing Dill here. I wear glasses. I have astigmatism. I need to wear these. The doctor says I'm supposed to wear these when I look at a screen for too long. But wait a second. I just started it, and it's talking about like trade stocks and whatever. Like I heard that people didn't like the prequels because it got too much in politics and into the politics and stuff of the world, and not enough action. But what in the world is this? What is this? Is what we were talking about? Am I zoomed in? I am. Shut up! I know what I'm doing. I've used this camera before. But freaking, what? You did already? Nothing's happened yet. It's just the opening crawl. Just the opening text crawl, and already it's talking about, the trade routes, and now the Jedi Knights have to get it. Why are the Jedi in on this? Aren't they like space wizard, samurai fighter dudes? Why are they dealing with trades? What? What are we doing here? Whatever. You know what? I'm judging. I'm judging before anything else has happened. I need to hold my horses. Hang on. Okay, so now a progress report. We're like half an hour in. I've met who I believe is Qui-Gon Jinn, as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi, younger Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've met Padme. Thought she was the queen. She was Queen Amidala. Turns out not. I thought they were the same person. Looks like that's not the case. Or maybe she becomes the queen later. I don't know. So there's that situation. But also I've met Jar Jar Binks. He's kind of annoying, but so far he's not insufferable, so, maybe he gets more annoying later, I don't know, but right now he's alright. I don't hate him. Yeah, there's still like an hour and 45 minutes left. Still an hour and 47 minutes left, so, yeah, stuff could happen, we'll see. We'll just see. I'll keep you posted. We are now just over halfway through the entire movie, and I'm not hating young Anakin. Honestly, I was under the impression that he sucked and he was annoying and no one liked him. I don't get that. It is weird that he's like 8 and Padme is, what, 16? The fact that they're supposed to get together and make Luke and Leia, it feels weird. I mean, like, by the time it happens, they're both adults, right? They're both adults when it happens, so, like, it's fine. It's fine. There's no laws being broken or anything. But it's still weird. It still feels weird and awkward to know that age gap is there. Now, like, bottom line, started watching these. Oh, jeez. Hey, so I wanted to have a little in between moments here, just to kind of section these off. I don't know. This is the first one of these time recording and making. I don't know if this is gonna be the first one you see, so I don't know. So currently, I don't know what I'm doing. So just hold on, just bear with me, please. So after having watched the first one, after having watched episode 1 at this point, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. That is to say, a lot of people. I remember hearing a lot of people say that all the prequels were very bad. I didn't get that sense from this one. It was alright. Nothing great, but nothing terrible. But you know, for the project that I'm doing here, maybe I learned something. I haven't learned nothing from this. This hasn't told me any new information. So, again, halfway through, there's 2 other movies in this trilogy. In this prequel trilogy, so you know, maybe I'll learn something. Maybe I'll learn something that I didn't already know. We'll see. Okay, so I just finished the movie. Turns out Padme was the queen, and the other one was just a decoy. It fooled me. Okay, so yeah, Qui-Gon Jinn is dead. So is Darth Maul, except for he shows up in a bunch of other stuff after this, so he's not really dead, I guess. He should be. He got sliced in half and then he fell down. I don't know what that was, but he fell down something. It was real deep. But right now, as it stands, I don't think I want to put my new character in this era of Star Wars, in this time period of Star Wars. What's happening right now? Is a cloud going over the sun? That's exactly what's happening, I think. Focus. Focus. What could possibly be messing up with your focus? Okay. Okay, so maybe it didn't help all that much for what I was doing. But now we were going into episode 2. And episode 2 had, I guess, more that I had heard about. I'm not sure, but I remember I was excited to go into it because I had fun with the first one. Why wouldn't I have fun with the second one? They got some good moments in there. It's probably a fun time. It's from the early 2000s, which is probably my favorite era for movies. So, hey, let's see what do we got going? Let's just see, right? Is it?
I don't like sand.
Ah, there it is.
It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
He said the thing. Why did he say that? She was just talking about water. What was that about? Okay, currently an hour into the second one. Anakin is creepy and weird, and I don't like him. He's off-putting and creepy with the way he's flirting with Padme. I don't care for it. I don't dig it. Oh, the current politics don't work. Everyone needs to agree on something, and then do what is supposed to happen. Padme's like, well, that's the current system, but people just don't agree. And Anakin's like, well, they need to be made to agree. They need to be forced to agree. And Padme's like, what? That sounds like a dictatorship. And he's like, I mean, if it works, it works. Like, what the hell, man? Like, you give me that scene, and yeah, no, I'm not surprised that he turned into a supervillain. I'm not surprised at all. My goodness. Also, this is when they introduced clone troopers, and already, immediately, it's shady. The clone troopers are already... The whole system around making clone troopers already feels shady and uncomfortable. I don't like that either. I don't like anything that's going on, actually. I think I've decided. I don't like anybody here so far. Except for Yoda. Yoda's cool. So at this point, I had already watched the first 2 movies, and I had kind of already made up my mind about a good chunk of what I wanted my character to be. But I set out on this journey. I set a mission for myself. This was the project, and this is what I was going to do. I didn't want an F on my report. That's a project joke. Okay, it's a new day. It's the second day. I watched the second movie. Yeah, it was alright, I guess. Now I know where the clone troopers came from. Chronologically speaking, the next thing is Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the series. But like, I'll watch that later after I've saw it after this. But I think I already know. I don't want to put my character in this era of Star Wars. I don't want to put him here because I want him to have a lightsaber, right? I want to be a lightsaber blaster dude. I want him to have both. The Jedi Order's not gonna let him have a blaster. That's too stuffy. That's too stuck up. I don't want to deal with that. So I'm either gonna put him in the original trilogy or the sequel trilogy. Probably the sequel trilogy. I feel like, because I feel like there's an in for me there. I feel like there's a narrative in for me in the sequel trilogy, and also by the time I actually started getting into Star Wars, but into any real metric, it was The Force Awakens. Force Awakens is the one that came out. That was coming out that made me be like, oh, okay, let me look at Star Wars now. Look into that. And I watched the original trilogy. I watched the sequel trilogy. Now I'm here watching the prequel trilogy. Revenge of the Sith! This is happening a lot earlier than I thought.
Kill him now.
This is... Hold on. Like, look at... We're only 14 minutes in. Already we're here? I figured this was later. What the... Who's gonna say it? Say the line, Bart.
I shouldn't. Do it.
Yeah, there it is.
You did well, Anakin.
You suck. Okay, so now I'm 48 minutes into Revenge of the Sith. Question. So we're seeing, what do they call him? A Lord Plagueis or whatever? He's like in his cloak and everything, and the holograms and everything. Are we not supposed to know that that's Palpatine? Like, what? Like, I've seen all the other Star Wars movies. So I just already knew this. Right? And I've heard people talk about these movies. So I just knew that was the case. But, like, are you meant to go into the movie not knowing that? Is it not supposed to be obvious? Because it feels pretty obvious. Am I missing something here? And also, these are prequels. You're supposed to... Like, these are prequels. The original trilogy came out. We know Palpatine is the bad guy already. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Is it me? What's happening here? I don't understand. Progress was still steady going after finishing the original trilogy. Not the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy. I'll make that very clear. Progress was steady. We were still working on the character. I was still pretty certain on some things I wanted to have in there, but I hadn't fully figured out everything. So I figured, let's keep going, right? You might as well. Onto the original trilogy. Let's go. Okay, so now I gotta watch A New Hope. I gotta rewatch all the other movies I've already seen. Yeah, I know I'm not gonna put my character in the prequel era. Also, I came up with names for my dude. Hang on, because I tried to look up. Because there was a specific thing to do for your Star Wars name. It's like you're supposed to take the first 3 letters of your last name, the first 2 letters of your first name, and then that's your Star Wars name. I don't like those because the names I got I don't like. So I'm gonna go with I'm just lazy just taking my name and reversing it, and I get Drowlid or Drowlidnair. It was at this point in my progress through the Star Wars films that I realized that I kind of ran out of stuff to say, and that I had already seen every movie at this point. I had already watched. So I didn't have much commentary to give. I mean, fair enough, that wasn't the point of what I was doing, but I already kind of made up my mind about most of the things, about basically everything about the character at this point, and I didn't have anything new to say about the movies, so I didn't have a lot of dialogue to give on anything. So, sorry about that section being short, but, you know, we're making progress. You like Star Wars. I like Star Wars now. I became much more of a fan throughout all this. So that was great. I enjoy that. I still have to start watching the Clone Wars show. I still have to do that. But, you know, I will. I promise I will. It'll happen. It's the next day yet again. So now I'm about to go into Empire Strikes Back. I'll be honest, I'm kind of tempted to just go straight to the sequel trilogy at this point because I feel like that's where I'm gonna put my guy. But I can't because I've already said I'm gonna commit to this. So here we go. I gotta get as much lore as possible without watching any of the shows or the spin-off movie. I'm just watching the mainline series, so I guess that's not as much lore as possible. But yeah, shut up. Joe, you make the video. Okay, we're now on day 3 or 4 of doing this, of watching these movies. I just finished the original trilogy. We're about to go into The Force Awakens. And I'm excited because this is my era of Star Wars. This is when I started getting into Star Wars. It was literally because this movie was about to come out, and I went back and I ended up finding a way to watch the original trilogy, and I caught up. And now we're here. So here we go. I'm excited. And I think this is where I'm going to put myself insert. Force Awakens! Force Awakens! Also, a lot of people hate on the sequel trilogy. On the trilogy that came out when Walt Disney actually had ownership. Here's my take. Shut up. I'm not gonna act like they're not. I'm not gonna act like they're flaws. I'm not gonna act like they don't have problems. Like, I will say, Finn is a wasted opportunity. There's a lot of potential with Finn. He's a reformed stormtrooper. There's a lot to have there. There's a lot of potential there. They didn't do anything with it, so that's unfortunate. But like everything else is like it's fine, whatever. I don't want to have any sequel trilogy slander in my comments. All right, is that okay? Can we not have that? Probably not, but I can hope. All right, this should be the final day of this binge rewatch situation. Do the Star Wars films. My character's basically already done, but you know I gotta finish. You know I gotta go through. Maybe there's something else I need to learn to add to my character or something. I don't know. And so now, after a week of watching Star Wars movies, we have what I believe is going to be the final product. I would like to introduce you all to Dralid Orsak. That's the name I'm going to go with. It sounds Star Warsy, I think. His grandfather was around during the Old Republic. He trained to be a Jedi and all that, but he didn't, I guess, complete it or whatever. I haven't watched Clone Wars. I haven't watched the Clone Wars series. I'm sure there's a whole thing behind the training or whatever. There's some point in it where he didn't like pass the test or whatever, and he got kicked out. So he wasn't an official Jedi. But he learned it, he knows the stuff, and then Order 66 happened, and because he's not really a Jedi, he didn't get moited. And so he hid out, and he had a daughter, and the daughter learned the Jedi ways, but he said, like, don't mess with the Empire. Don't freaking kill us. Stay low. Don't touch anything. Luke Skywalker came in, and then the Empire is over, and the daughter had a son, Dralid here. He learned the ways of the Force and the Jedi and how to use a lightsaber and everything. Also, he knows how to use a blaster, because I just think that's unique. But now the First Order is out here, and he's like, well, freaking, we gotta do something this time. I'm not just gonna sit and do nothing. I think I can help. So he joined the Resistance. I gave him a yellow lightsaber because I've stumbled across a video that talks about the different meanings of the different colors of the lightsabers, which I didn't know they had meanings. Apparently, like blue means that like you got a big focus on like combat and everything, on just how to use your lightsaber really good. If it's green, that means you're close to the Force. You got a nice connection to the Force and whatever. And yellow means that you're kind of in the in between. You're both, right? And so I want my guy to kind of be both. I want him to be in between there. So I'm giving him a yellow lightsaber. I'm not saying he's like as powerful as like Rey or Anakin or Luke or anything, but like. He's got some cool Force powers, I think. I like to think so. I think that's cool. Yeah, there we go. I've watched all 9 of the Star Wars movies of like the mainline Star Wars movies, and I made a self-insert character for them. Oh jeez. So that's the end of this. That's the end of this, I guess. Let me know if this was terrible, and I won't do it again. But if you don't tell me, then I'll make it again. Hell, even if you do tell me it's bad, tell me if you do like. Even if you tell me that you didn't like it, I might still do it again because this was just a fun time. I got to watch some movies and make a new character. That's fun, and this will give me an excuse. This will give me an excuse to make content out of different movies and TV shows I haven't watched. But yeah, that's it. Really, that's all I got. That's all she wrote. I got to announce. So yeah. Bye, I guess.